Welcome to episode 3 of the Grand Theft Advertising Poddy. So, in this pod, we're just going to be diving into some of the cool stuff that I'm seeing on the TikTok shop front. Actually, I've been diving into it a lot, and I want to share that stuff with you because I know that you're running a lot of creatives, not just on Meta, but you're considering TikTok as well. And obviously, you're in the e-com space. So, if you are listening to this or you're watching and you're in the e-com space, this is specifically for you to take advantage of. So, 3 things I actually want to talk about today. I want to talk about how TikTok is really going for Amazon's lunch in a massive way, and I'm going to talk about what that is. Some amazing promotions that most brands don't realize are running right now, and this cheeky hack that if you're on TikTok Shop right now, you can take advantage of. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to monologue before I go into that. How's your week been? What are your thoughts? Give me a quick rundown.
Okay. So first of all, marketing wise, look, we're looking to go onto TikTok Shop at some point. I just think it's it's an early adopter mindset, right? Of getting in there when it's still the press is hot and the opportunity there is great for anyone who is just thinking about getting a product up and wanting to test something. It's a great way for you to just test a product. And it's funny you say that because you came on a campfire last this Wednesday, right? And wow, time flies. And so when you left, I was talking to Graham, who you know, Graham Paddock. He's absolutely awesome dude. And he was saying how one of his, he's freaking awesome. He was saying how one of the things he's doing, his friend is doing, is he goes on Amazon, right? And he finds, it's a little bit of a segue, but he finds high level top products, right? He finds the ones that are doing absolutely killer. And he goes, okay, these products are doing killer. There's no way I can make an Amazon shop for this. There's no way. I'm not going to be able to sell. So what if I make a landing page for it, right? Connect it to either an affiliate link or something like that. Make the product, not affiliate link, but connect it, and I'll put a higher price on this, and then maybe it clicks and buys the product on Amazon, and then sends it to the person, right? And he then does high level UGC to TikTok and other things, so it funnels to that. He gets a cut of it. The person still gets the product, but he doesn't need to have any shipping or anything. He says some of these products last a few months, some of them have last up to 9 months, right? But they're high level, and because he's not battling with the Amazon system of other people, he's literally just got to make high level UGC content, and I think he said that he was making around about 400k from it. So that is Grand Theft advertising. Straight up.
Oh, yeah. Because, all he's doing is harnessing attention and then pointing it somewhere. And that's really this new phase of social commerce we're jumping into. It's if you can harness attention, you can point it anywhere. So the God tier skill set is harnessing attention. That's really it. Focus on getting really good at that. And then you can basically write yourself a check for however much you want, as long as you can harness attention.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Actually, I got to talk to him about that to figure out, meet his mate who's doing that. I think maybe if we can invite him on, we can hear about his process. That would be amazing.
It's funny you say that, because last episode you mentioned about that company that does the 2 cents as well. I think it'll be really cool if we get them on at some point, or if you think it's a good idea, just to ask why they thought that was a good idea, how has it been going, and would they do it again? Are they going to consistently do it? Because I just think those sort of things, they're so out of the box. Even though they've been done in other ways, but no one's thinking about that. Everyone thinks just send emails out, do your UGC really good, and it's a great way to get people's attention to. Well, as Rafe always says, and you'll hear this, when everyone is zigging, you should zag, right? And I got that from you, by the way. I love that. So when everyone zigs, zag, because that's how you get people's attention, when everyone's zigging.
Yeah, and it's just a signal to noise ratio. If everyone's going in one direction and this one other person is very clearly going in a different direction, you stand out because there's not that many other people running in that zag direction. That's the only thing, and it's not from me. I read it in a book, but now I've stolen it and said it myself. So
he's Grand Theft advertised that. So I'm going to keep saying that because it's hilarious until people say stop saying it. But okay, cool. So
if you want him to stop, definitely say that in the chat. Otherwise, it's just going to keep going. But I do want to talk about how this is actually a bit of a zag. as well. And
Okay.
it's a great segue. You know, this was unplanned, but it's perfect. What TikTok is doing is a zag compared to other e-commerce businesses where, you know, Etsy doesn't have their own fulfillment machine yet. We've got Walmart that has its own fulfillment, but it's through stores that already exist, obviously.
Yeah.
But nobody's really hit the fulfillment like fulfilled by Amazon at the same scale, or even trying to get third-party sellers to sell in that same way until TikTok came along and launched TikTok Shop. And so if you haven't heard about this already, you'll hear about it a lot more increasingly, like from this point onwards. It's called FBT, Fulfilled by TikTok. And in the last year, towards I think the last 6 to 8 months of 2023 and all throughout this year, TikTok's been buying just a ton of warehouse space in the US. And now it's obviously invite only, but they're allowing sellers to sell through their own warehouses. So you instead of sending your product to your 3PL, or if you're an Amazon seller, you're used to selling it to Amazon or sending it to Amazon, where there's all these increasing fees that are coming from Amazon. TikTok is inviting these TikTok shop sellers to send their product there, and there's these amazing subsidies and costs of fulfillment is so cheap. Can we just
rewind that a little bit, and just for anyone who wants to know, like Fulfilled by TikTok. So there's a service that Amazon has called Fulfilled by Amazon, right? It's called FBA. What FBA is basically you send them your packages, like all of your product, and then they send it out to the customer when they buy it. And so what TikTok is doing is that they're replicating that and making their own Fulfilled by TikTok. So I just wanted to preface that, so anyone who didn't know what FBA or FBT basically means.
Yeah, thank you for that context. I'm going to need you to keep doing that, because when I start talking about this stuff, I get excited, so I just go.
Love it.
So a bit more context that's relevant there for you guys to know is that the reason why FBA is so popular is because it gets rid of like 1/3 of the headache, which is the fulfillment, the last mile delivery of the product to the customer's door. That's why it works so well. You don't have to deal with any of the 3PLs. You just send the product in and they take care of everything. And that's why there was such a huge adoption. And that's why, because there haven't been that many competitors in this specific last mile delivery case in the e-commerce world, Amazon's been slowly increasing fees, basically harvesting, right?
It's crazy how it's been rising, and it's actually stopped a lot of people I know who want to start on Amazon from starting, because they just think like, where's my profit margin gone? You know, and look, I don't want to recommend people to not try it, but I'm just saying there are other options right now, like TikTok Shop, which is going to be, I'm guessing, I don't know if you know yet, like what percentage or how much lower it is than Amazon at all?
The numbers aren't super duper clear. I know that it's from people that are already invited, like 50% cheaper to fulfill at the moment, because it's being subsidized. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. But you need to hit a certain requirement to be able to get there. You need to at least sell 75 units a day before they invite you. But on TikTok, that level of scale is pretty easy to achieve. So I don't know, man. It's very, very exciting. So they're really going after their lunch. TikTok's really going after Amazon's lunch, and man, I think they're taking some like decent bites out of it. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I think when there isn't competition, the main company, the one that's winning, just ends up like creating a monopoly. Now that this competition's coming, it's like, okay, they might reduce some fees for sellers, who knows, or make it a little bit more enticing, because now there's like a new hot warehouse, out there. So like people are thinking about working with them too. So that's exciting.
It's funny you say that as well, because the way the world's going, like I'm seeing a lot more 3PLs pop up at the moment. And 3PL, for anyone, is third party logistics, which is that, like, let's say you have a product, you can get other companies to basically deliver and do all the logistics for your product. You just send it to them, packaged and everything. So the fact that these big players like TikTok are doing it, and another one, like I just want to segue, and I won't go too deep into it, but Walmart is also allows you to do online selling on their platform, because they're challenging Amazon as well. And so now let's say you've got TikTok, which has their own fulfillment center, you've got Amazon, and you've also got Walmart. Like the competition is getting fierce, and both these two other ones, TikTok and Walmart, they want to own the market themselves. So expect to see some big benefits for anyone who becomes an early adopter to these.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the fact that they're subsidizing the last mile delivery and it's that much cheaper, absolutely insane. And Walmart's in a unique situation because they had fulfillment centers all around the country already, and their fulfillment centers are actually their stores, right? Thousands. And so like you're very uniquely positioned to be able to do that. The difference between Amazon and Walmart is that they are bottom of funnel where customers are ready to buy and aware of the problem to purchase. The difference with TikTok is that it is purely top of funnel. Hey, I wouldn't even consider this as a product or a problem, but I'm going to buy it.
So
and
exciting.
That's why it's so exciting.
That's okay. So just to go onto that, right? So the difference between like Amazon and Walmart and then TikTok, right? So just to open that up. When you're going on Amazon, you're going there because you already have the intent of wanting to buy something. I want a water bottle, so I am going onto Amazon or Walmart to buy that water bottle, right? So you're going that route. With TikTok Shop, they are actually going into a market where they are not being there's no competition to a certain extent, because when you're buying off TikTok, it's people who are trying to grab your attention for a brand new product, a brand new idea, going, wow, look at this product, it's really cool. And because TikTok is all about attention, as Rafe continuously says, right, it's an attention market. Who's going to compete with them? The only one that could potentially do that, I guess, is Instagram or Facebook if they decide to go down that route as well, really.
Yeah. And, Facebook created their own Facebook marketplace, and it was just a colossal disaster. Right? It just did not work very well. It was terrible. And, well, yeah, but worse, well worse. And, kudos to trying, but I just don't see anyone, at least in the short term, really taking advantage of it. Maybe Snapchat, if they had more users, I think they could potentially try, but I just don't think it's anywhere close. So that's one thing that's happening on the TikTok side of things, right? The second thing is that, yes, they're subsidizing their last mile delivery, which is great. But if you're a seller and you're considering, hey, should I go on TikTok? They're subsidizing entire promos. And not many brands know this. And you're like almost all brands are eligible for this, which is insane. So what this means is that, I don't know if you've ever gone on TikTok Shop, but, a lot of the products are like 40, 50, 60% off. And you're like, how the hell are these brands making any money? Like, what's happening? What does my product need to be 60% off just to be successful on this platform? And that's not the case at all. Those promos are applied by TikTok themselves.
Wow.
And they subsidize the sales for you. So, I'm just going to connect the dots here. That means I'm selling this thing at 60% off to a new customer. They're only paying 40% of the total cost of this thing. I'm still getting 100% of how much this would cost because TikTok is paying the difference to me. And so I'm basically getting to get my product and my brand in front of all these new people that would have never heard of it at a steep discount. And I get full buys. So no promos, no discounts.
Okay, so that first of all, if you're not going, if you're thinking about selling, first go that route because it's an incredible opportunity, and we don't know how long that's going to last. So there is probably a time scale, and you do have to be invited. But I'm sure that if you get into it, there is the opportunity for you to start rubbing shoulders with the right people in those areas. However, and this is something I want to just preface on the other side of that, what are the implications of that? Because if they're subsidizing all these products for 50-60%, you're going to have an uptick in sales. However, how long is that 60% going to last? And when, let's say this is a long-term product that you have, fair enough, your branding is going to increase and everything like that. But if it's not 60% off, are people going to buy it afterwards? There's a worry there, right?
Not at all. I'm going to totally throw that back in your face. I completely disagree.
Okay.
So firstly, it's not invite only. As long as you have a TikTok Shop account, your eligibility criteria is there. You just need to double check that you're eligible. 9 out of 10 times you will be eligible. So you just need to go into that tab and be like, yeah, I'm going to register for this TikTok funded promo. Right. So that's one thing. The reason why I'm not worried about, hey, whether this buyer is going to want to continue buying from me again as a brand is because I'm not just selling on TikTok. I'm selling on Amazon. I might be also selling on Shopify. And the customers are aware that TikTok wants them to start trusting them to buy on that platform. So it's really just a user behavior mechanism. It's not, it has nothing to do with how the brand is perceived in the customer's mind. It's really just changing buyer behavior to trust TikTok Shop as a consumer to buy there. That's it. And everyone's aware of the game. And so buyers are taking huge advantage of this. Sellers can take huge advantage of it if they jump on. And now your brand and your product is in so many new hands that these customers are actually different from your Amazon customers or your Shopify customers or your Walmart customers because they're product and problem aware. These guys are a completely new market, which is so exciting. So yeah, disagree with you on that one, man.
No, and please always challenge me on those sort of things. Just, that's
Sure.
why we have these conversations, because if we always agree on everything, then it's a worry.
One of us isn't necessary.
Yeah, yeah, basically. But like, I'm just interested. Like, so if in regards to, if anyone wants to get onto TikTok right now, what would you recommend they do for their shop? Because do you need followers?
Nah. Zero.
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
That's the best part. Yeah. I mean, you don't need anything except, obviously you have to be you have to have a US entity. So if somebody's listening to this, like in Australia, like where I am, or in Korea where you are at the moment, it's like you need to have a US LLC, and it's very easy if you have an SSN, so a team member in the US as the representative for you, and then you can just set up a TikTok shop account, super duper easy, and then you can start selling. Yeah.
And I just want to mention as well, for anyone who is overseas and going, oh my gosh, but I'm overseas, how can I open up a US company? Look, we are by no means financial experts or accountants, so we can't give any legal advice on this. But it isn't difficult to open a shop overseas in the US. You just need an LLC or whatever structure that you want over there. But I'd recommend, talking to someone about that, or just going online and just doing a bit of research. But it's not impossible. I've got one, Rafe's got one, so it isn't hard.
Yeah.
The only thing
it cost me $150 to set up, so it's like super cheap.
The only thing which stressed me out when I did it was that I can't remember what part of it was, but they asked me to fax something to them, right? I was like, what? You want me to fax a document to you? And so there is an archaic part of the system, which and I want to point on that as well. You know how everyone says Japan is like super high tech and incredible, right? You know that most of their internal systems run on faxes.
Seriously? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
So just a little bit of tidbit of crazy information there. That a lot of the old boys that work in those companies, they still use fax machines. And you think this high-tech country, it's all running on paper still.
Yo. I mean, I kind of I'm like nostalgic for it. I should go visit now just before they, digitize finally. Fair, man, fair. Yeah, but if you are thinking about starting, I would say like start right now. Because the more and more people that become aware of this, the gap and how much further ground you can get is going to be less and less. So like the faster you are right now to like get in the race and start going, the more advantage you're going to have. I mean, that's basically like early days Amazon. That's what's happening right now.
So literally, how should, if people want to do it, so they just go to TikTok Shop, they should type that in on Google or something, and then they can literally click it, sign up, get an LLC, which will take you maximum a couple of weeks to get it all sorted, I'd say, and then you're ready to go.